Welcome to Patrick's Pyre Party. We're going to be talking about the new release, Pyre from Supergiant Games, our impressions of Doomfist, who came out last week from Overwatch, a little bit of a PUBG scandal, all that and more right now on Inventory Full, so stay with us.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Oh. It's really quiet. Why is it so quiet?
Hey!
Shout out to our engineer who's supposed to hit play on the music when the intro rolls.
Overrated.
Whatever.
Who
Hi,
needs
welcome to
music?
Inventory Full, where we start with a whimper, not a roar. I'm one of your hosts, and that's Mark Donica.
The music is building.
You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. Joined to the left of me by Nate Miller.
What's going on, guys? Nate Miller. You can find me on social media at DogLikeNate.
Stacey Shuttleworth.
Hi guys, I'm Stacey Shuttleworth. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles.
Patrick Dees.
What is up? You can find me at patrickspyreparty.com.
Triple P.
Or P to the D's on Twitter, whatever.
P to the P's.
P to the yes. So many
That's a different,
amazing
that's
alliteration.
A different
Wow,
Twitter.
yeah, hold
Yeah.
on guys.
Don't
So-
go to that Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's dark.
It's just as good as Patrick's Pen Island. So we're gonna loop back around this
we're on
way
a roll.
to talk about what we've been playing this week, because Patrick has been infiltrating our text chain with Pyre.
You think?
But
Rick and Morty.
with you and Rick and Morty.
It's a problem. It's a problem.
But with you talking about Pyre, I went back to Bastion.
You did not.
Yeah, I did.
And
I flippin' love it. Like it's been sitting in my Steam library for years.
so this was your first Bastion.
This is my first. Yeah, but it was hard to. It was really hard to stop.
I agree.
I'm definitely gonna go back and finish it, and then gear up from some Pyre. I'm loving Bastion so far.
It's so good. Can you, without spoiling anything, can you say how far in you are?
Not very far.
Oh, okay.
No. Probably about an hour and a half, but yeah.
But you were hooked immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah, like the very first. You guys are familiar with Bastion, right? You've got the narrator who's like, Sebastian. The hook is it's like isometric view in your little, it's an action RPG or whatever, and there's a narrator who literally narrates everything that you're doing, right? And so the very thing at the beginning, you get out of bed and it's like, the kid got out of bed, and then so I was like, this is so rad, and he's like, walks to the door, and I was like, this is rad, and then you just beat the shit out of a bush for a minute, and he goes, the kid decided to rage for a while. It's like, all right, I am on board with this game. That's great.
Yeah, once I found out that it adapted to what I was actually doing and not just trying to keep me on track, I was super into it. Nate, what are you playing? I have a guess.
I also have a guess.
Wonder.
I've been playing Dream Daddy.
Yes, I knew it!
No,
I knew
That's a lie. That's a
Did you
lie.
see that
It's a
zag?
bold-faced lie. No, I've been playing PUBG. I've been playing lots of PUBG. Lots of second place.
Oh, is that right?
Lots of sweaty
that's,
palms.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. I ran myself over today, too.
For the second place?
No.
That would be a shitty way to go.
No, that would be really unfortunate. Yeah.
Dude, so how many Game of the Year awards is PUBG going to win? I feel like that is all anybody's talking about anywhere all the time.
I mean, I think we still need a few more months of updates, consistent updates, but if they continue how they have, they're going to get all of the awards. It's
But I
just
mean,
insane.
that's also if it's gonna reach 1.0 by the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm still... I mean, I can kind of see it happening by the end of the year if they continue on the path they are, because they have been making larger strides, and they've been pretty vocal about some other things that they're working on that they're not quite finished with yet, but are on the way.
Keep me honest though, like weren't they hitting wasn't the commitment to hit 1.0 when to align with the console launch?
Right. Well, I think I'm under the impression that the console launch is not going to happen until 1.0 is done. So I think it's kind of like a not console launch and 1.0 will be ready by then.
Right.
It's 1.0 is ready.
Time to launch on consoles.
Yes.
Got
right.
it.
Yeah. That's how I think. And I also think it's going to be really fun on consoles.
What has you? We talked a little bit about it on the show before, but like again, console players are not accustomed to that PC jank. What has you so amped for the console launch?
Well, once they get a lot of the bugs fixed, it's still in some ways how it's very realistic and hardcore. It's also somewhat arcadey in other ways. And I just think the console environment of playing with your friends that you've cultivated in that space is just gonna be a perfect place for the community.
I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole. I may never. I feel like it is right in line with those games that I will just lose a lot of time to.
Yeah. And it's so easy to not feel like you're losing time too.
I bet.
That's an issue.
It's the one more match.
That's the best issue.
You spend a lot of time
Yeah.
waiting, but then like your heart's pounding because you know that there's someone like over there, but you don't know where.
Yeah.
And you're out of med
But
kits.
also the fact that every round starts with a drop.
Right.
Too. Like that's another way of just like
My one concern is they announced that they want to do a tournament already, and that they're planning for esports and stuff like that, and I just don't see the game working in an esports format, at least not in the standard way.
No.
Maybe if they make a smaller island that has more consistent spawns to eliminate some of the RNG, because as it stands now, there's just way too much, even with how large the map is.
Right.
Sometimes you're just screwed if you just land on the wrong side of the map, and if you don't find a vehicle, you won't make it in the circle in time.
If they have like a set spawn set on it. Like,
I don't like
Good.
Right?
Get
Get
good.
I kind of disagree though. Like I think it has a shot. And again, having never played the game but watched a fair amount, like I think this is one of the most compelling games to watch hard stop. And it's accessible. The last person wins. Like I could watch Dota for several days straight and not be able to tell you what the hell is happening, or what a scrub is, or like that's not a thing, right? I don't know. I got ganked. I don't know what any of that shit is. But in PUBG, it's like dog, last man standing. You won, chicken dinner. Like I can watch this.
It's pretty accessible.
Yes.
But my argument against as viewer friendly as it is, and that obviously it's huge on Twitch. That's
Yeah.
part of the reason why it's blown up so much.
Sure.
It's so fun to watch, but for me, especially watching a lot of highlights, the best part is context.
Right.
So it's when you get that from watching one streamer, you watch them drop, you watch them get in their little skirmishes, and when they just decide to run and follow them all the way down to the last circle or whatever when they die. If we're switching back and forth in an esports way, watching different perspectives, I feel like some of that magic might be lost, but we haven't seen it yet, so there's no way to tell, really.
All right, I can see that.
Though I do like the idea of being able to see, is that person around the corner? That person's right around the corner. Like being able to.
Well, I was thinking about
play
that
with
too. Of
those
like
perspectives.
being able to see some type of a spectator map of like, all right, well now we see the circles closing. We know this group is approaching from here. This group, they're
Like a couple
And
of
we
free
know-
cams. If there's a
yeah.
couple of free cams where,
Right.
as opposed to following a player perspective,
Right.
where it can be like an actual production.
But that's
of
why
a
I
couple
think
of
there would have
helicopters,
to be a
drone
special map
shots.
because the map is just too big.
Sure.
That's where it would get too hard to understand because like whereas Dota, there's a lot of crap going on in the map, but it's
Yeah.
a smallish map in comparison to PUBG.
And it's always the same, right? Like,
it's always
yeah,
the same,
yeah. It's like a
yeah.
basketball court. No, I can. So what if stay with me? I'm gonna give you a pitch. What if it's PUBG, but with like beloved characters from different universes than like Kingdom Hearts, right? It's just a bunch of
Some
like
battle
Disney
royale.
characters ending each other.
I mean, I
Go on.
definitely think that the battle royale genre is just kind of
Mark doesn't know how to handle this. He's like,
Reaching
I don't
off.
know.
He's lost over
He's
there.
like, I didn't ask
You
for a
broke
pitch.
him.
I know. He's
I
like-
didn't ask for this.
he's like,
I didn't come here for this bullshit.
guys, it's been a great run on the show. I
Yeah.
wish you guys so much luck.
somebody's.
No, you're
getting
staying.
that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You're staying.
Now you're not allowed to
Yeah,
leave.
I know.
Absolutely.
It's not a
I
luck.
do have to say, from a tactical perspective, I don't know if running across the hills with no cover in a big like green goofy suit.
Sure.
I don't know if
That's what I want.
would.
No, I would just
Stand
love
out.
if we could get a mod community that's strictly.
Well, they just announced that they're going to support mods. They're
Okay.
Gonna do their. That's. I mean,
Because
because
if I could be Shrek running through that village.
Now you're
and,
talking.
And
Now
every,
I'm gonna play.
they already have
I'm being
they
serious
already have
six.
custom servers now. It's really just for the streamers.
switch
but
my
once
engine
they go
sound to
live-
All Star.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
okay with being the
now
first
you're
one dead if I can run around
now
and
Mark's
die.
coming around, right? It clicked for him. Got
There
it.
you go. All right.
Can I be
I knew-
Sanic?
I knew we'd
I
get
want to
there.
be Sanic, not Sonic. I want to be
Sanic.
Sanic.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
See it
Stacey,
now.
what are you playing? Because we have another PUBG thing to talk about.
All the PUBG.
Yeah.
I finally made it through Injustice 2. And felt real bad about myself after
You
finishing
didn't-
the Superman
Why
storyline.
did wait? What?
Did you play it first?
No, I played Batman first
Okay, good.
because this was the obvious choice.
Yeah.
And then I had to go back and, of course, finish all the fights
Yeah.
because, it, you know, it's out
100%.
there. It was like 50 out of 76 fights completed, and I was like, well, that's not
That's-
going to stand. And then
Can't sleep.
And then, of course, I had to end with the Superman
It was-
fight, which was terrible.
It was really hard to let you borrow that because I was like, oh, those fights are incomplete. I'm gonna get it back. It's fine. But overall, what did you think of it?
I really liked it. It was extremely narrative driven, and the graphics were beautiful. I think I just stared at Cyborg's face for a really long time whenever he was on screen. It was beautiful, but it was good. It was a good story. It was fun.
I want that to be the movies.
Didn't know that was a split.
Yeah.
It's 2 campaigns.
No, it's not 2 campaigns.
Okay.
But
No,
there are a
no.
couple times where you make decisions to
To be partnered up.
Yeah,
you choose one of the
sometimes you
other
go into a
colors.
fight, like early on, there's a fight where you go in as Black Canary and Green Arrow, and you can
Okay.
choose as one of them to fight. But in order to get 100%, you have to go back and choose the other person to
So you
complete that
do
fight.
the dual
that fight.
fights.
But what was the Batman or Superman fight thing you were talking about?
Well, the final battle takes place between Superman and Batman. That's not necessarily a
Oh, got
spoiler.
it.
And then
Right.
you choose to be one or the other.
Oh, got it. Okay, perfect.
And then you get an ending based on whoever you pick.
oh, right.
And
okay.
it's two very different endings.
Sure. All right.
Superman's not a good guy. Now, Patrick, have you been playing anything this week?
Not really. Just,
All right,
just
moving
moving
on then.
Yeah.
Yep, we're. I'm playing Pyre, guys. I know, as you've seen in all my text messages. Mark was talking a little bit about a Supergiant earlier and Bastion. This is one of those games that, do you guys play Transistor at all? Their second effort?
That, no.
Okay, so is
That I have on PlayStation Plus and haven't played yet.
also fantastic game. Like they excel at world building. You'll see Pyre visuals here, and I'm gonna need some of this to explain this game, but I want to set this up a little bit. So they excel at world building, really interesting like combat, and both of those two games are very different from each other. And when they started showing this early, like a year ago, they showed this you guys have seen kind of the ostensibly what is combat, right? Have you guys seen this? I'm sure we'll see it here in a second. I was like, well, I think there's the first Supergiant game that is not for me, but I couldn't resist it. I saw it. It was only $20. I downloaded it, and I very quickly went down this rabbit hole and was just enchanted with this. They're known for their world building, the colors and the graphics, and their music, and this music is incredible. So, let me set this up. So you play as the quote-unquote reader. You live in this, you don't live there. You've been banished to this world's, purgatory. This world's Australia, if you will. You're sent to Australia with all the other criminals, and you say, go rot there. And what you
Just
learn
history.
through
You
the
need a
course of it,
disclaimer.
it's half, and it plays out half like this, the combat here, the actual gameplay, are these what they call rights. And the other half is like this story, kind of an interactive storybook. And you kind of play the narrative bits until you get into the rights. And you play these games which will allow you and other party members to be ascended and leave Australia and get your freedom back. So you have this narrative reason to keep playing these games.
Okay.
The gameplay is very much like that. This is not my analogy. I don't know who said this first, but it's like NBA Jam. It is like a narrative focus. It's like high stakes bingo. You really care about this game. Now I've got your attention?
Now you've got my
That's what I'm
attention.
talking about.
That was the selling point.
It's 3-on-3. It's a little bit like basketball. So you start in a court, and on the left and the right side is a pyre. It's a fire burning. And in the middle, there's an orb or a ball. And your goal is to get that ball into the opponent's fire. You score different amounts of points. Each fire starts at 100, and you go whittling it down, and you get different points based on how you score it. You can throw it from a distance, and you get 5 or 10 points, depending on your character. You can slam dunk that shit. With the big dude, it's 35 points, or with one of the smaller dudes, 20. And you get different party members who all have, at the very beginning, it's very the little fast guy, the medium all-around guy, the big slow guy. Then you start gathering party members who have different abilities, different speed, different kind of cool things. And so how it works is you play defense by actually hitting them, you run into them, and you have this aura around you, and as you make contact with them, they vanish from the board for between 3 to 5 seconds.
Okay.
And so sometimes it's 2-on-3, sometimes it's 3-on-2, depending. And when you score, if you dunk it, then you actually evaporate, and you only have 2 guys defending for that 5 seconds. And you go through each match. So you play the match out. As you win, you progress, and you gain enlightenment, which is XP, and you dole those out. So then there's a character progression by different dude or dudette, depending who's playing. So you get different abilities, and that goes unlocking. And the goal is to get your party out of this Australian hell. And there too is something that I don't think anybody's talking about in this game, is that so as you go developing your characters, the ones you use get more experience. But you need experienced characters to win and get people out. But you also get more attached to them because you get good with them, and your narrative, all these neat narrative beats. When you get through this Ascension game, you have to pick your 3 players who play in that game, but you designate one of those 3 players to leave. They're then out of your party. But they are also your star player, which you also need to get everybody else
Do you
through
get
this.
any of that XP back?
No, it's gone. All the stuff that you've invested in, right? So it's this weird balance
Nope,
of...
I'm out.
I know, no, it's good. It's so good. I've got one guy, and I won't tell you, who, ethically, I feel like, here's the game. So you can see each one's got, an aura around it, and when he runs into that person, they drop the ball, and they disappear from the map, and he would then go pick that up.
So it's like a weird mix of NBA Jam versus Griff Ball.
Yes, 1,000,000%. Yes. So there's the big dude. He moves slower, but he can jump and has special ability.
What
And
I thought of was Griffball.
And when he jumps, you can jump over them and slam it into that, and you can jump and block.
Come on and slam.
It's so deep. But I've it's this weird moral conundrum. I've got one guy in my party who's probably my favorite player. I've invested a lot in stats, and he's got like talismans. And he, like, narratively should be the guy that should get out of Australia next. But I also kind of need him to help shepherd, make sure that we have an undefeated season and get other people through. So I'm trying to say greater good for the greatest amount of people.
I thought
you don't get out of hell
For a
yet.
second, I thought that you named one of your characters Shepard because you're that much of a Mass Effect fan. But then I realized, no, the act of shepherding.
Not beyond me, for sure. I will tell you, very early on, there is a female character that she can't remember her name. She remembered that it rhymes with gray. And you can choose, again, because this game's so well written, you can choose, I bet her name was Ray or Faye or May. And then the last one, you mouse over it, it's Bay. And it's like, that possibly couldn't be her name, is it? And of course I chose Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because how could you not, right?
Naturally.
But I find the game really charming, the bits between the actual action and the game itself.
It looks beautiful. I mean,
It's
Transistor
stunning.
was beautiful in a Neo Future sort of way, and this takes it back to their like fantastical roots from Bastion.
Yeah, the animation's so beautiful, and like the music I can't get over. I'm finding this whole game incredibly charming. I'm probably 8 hours in. I'm probably 2/3 of the way done, I would imagine. And as you progress, it actually shows what your record is against all the other teams in this like Outland. And it's neat. Like again, it's a interactive story between the beats. Between the actual matches, and it's cool because like it'll give you text, and as you mouse over it, it's got its own kind of like Wikipedia version, like a Wikipedia. As you mouse over any word that you don't know, like how it existed
cool.
in that world, because part of their design ethos is they want every one of their games to feel like a sequel. Right when you started Bastion, right? Like there's just this world and you get the sense that it's been there for a long time and it expects you to catch up.
One of the first lines is, most stories start from the beginning. We're not going to do that.
No, totally. And this also feels like this world has existed long before you got here and will exist long after you played a role in it. And it's so different from any other game I've ever played. I think that phraseology is used a lot in games. Like, it's very different. But I've just never played anything even remotely like this. And I'm on record 1,000,000 times saying, like, I'm a narrative gamer. I do play some sports games from time to time, but I've never genuinely cared as much about an outcome of a game because it means people's freedom's on the line. Like, it's high stakes bingo, folks. Anyway, if you're
now you have my attention.
It's just so refreshing, man. It is unlike anything I've ever played, and Supergiant continues to do. This is a team of 11 people.
Yeah, I'm into it. We saw them at RTX.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it was a tiny booth.
11 people made this game, and it's phenomenal. I'm just really, really enjoying it. And I'll say the disclaimer: I don't think it's going to be for everybody. You might not dig the story stuff kind of between it, and I've heard the complaints that those go on a little bit. But if you can get behind kind of the wacky cast of characters. And understanding it's going to throw all kinds of new abilities and stuff at you as you go. I can't recommend it enough. I'm really, really enjoying it. Now, I'm not done, but like I said, I'm about 8 of 12 hours in. It's fun.
That was a really good pitch. I want to check this out, but it's now on like in the middle of my ever-growing list of games that I want to play.
I don't know how well it's going to do because, like, look, that took me a solid 7 minutes to tell you guys about. Like, you can't. This is not a game you can sum up in like 2 sentences. There's no like log line pitch for this game. I don't know how you
NBA
talk
Jam
about
meets,
it.
Story-driven NBA Jam meets Griffball.
Yeah. Okay. Solved. It's done.
In a very deep world.
You should be the 12th person at that studio.
That's what we do here. Is we solve problems.
I actually work for BR4 Supergiant, and I've been bluffing this entire time.
He's done it.
So
It's an industry plant.
Let's move on from here to a guy that's been rumored to be joining Overwatch for years.
Long time.
Very long time.
Long
10
time.
years.
Yeah, longer than the game's been around.
Wow.
Doomfist landed in Overwatch this week.
He did.
I got a chance to play. I saw you were online yesterday. You got
Yes.
a chance to play. Nate, did you get a chance to play?
Yes, I did.
Patrice.
Watched, didn't play.
You were playing Pyre.
I was. I was.
Priorities.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah. I definitely had a shot. I just chose to
So,
continue my.
From seeing the reveals up until playing him, what changed? Because I felt here's this big dude with a giant arm. I guess I just didn't pay attention when they said that he was going to be in the attack class, but I thought that he was going to be a little bit more hardy and be able to take a couple more hits than
so
he actually can.
squishy.
He's so squishy.
He's so squishy.
Yeah.
Can take him out in nothing. Like as Diva it goes down, even if he like stuns you and like punches you out, goes down
I think
immediately.
the main problem
after.
is
I
like
mean-
he's got the sweet action pose, but he should be playing defense with the arm in front of his flipping body.
Yeah.
Big
I can
Oi.
see that.
What do you think?
I mean, he definitely has one of the smaller health pools. I don't know if I would call him squishy just because of his sustain. If you're playing him right, the shield that you get off the damage is ridiculous. I got 2v1'd multiple times the other day when I was playing against a Doomfist that actually knew what he was doing with timing his combos and getting all of his cooldowns right. And it was a little bit disgusting.
Really? So you think he's got like a really high
Okay.
skill ceiling, you think?
Oh yeah,
Got
I think
it.
I think he is by far the most difficult hero.
No kidding.
the
Exceeding Genji for
Yeah,
sure.
the amount
Alright.
of combos that you can string together if you get the timing exactly right. And that's the thing. A lot of his moves are very deliberate, very slow.
Yeah.
You have to time it perfectly or you completely
Yeah.
lose out and you're useless for 5 seconds.
He's all cooldowns. He's all abilities.
Okay.
So that's why Sombra completely counters him.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you said combo, like all I could think was I want DJ Combo as a skin. Like,
Well,
right?
he plays very
DJ
much
Combo.
like a fighting game
Yeah.
character. Like
Cool.
especially, the first day I picked him up, I was thinking he would be in the Genji class of like a diver,
Sure.
get in there, dive the carries, dive the healer, whatever, slam him into a wall. If you do that, you will just die. Because if you use his abilities to get in, then you can't do anything. So
Yeah.
you have to use his abilities very carefully. Now today, after watching some people much better than me play him, I was like, oh, he works great as peel for your team. Sit up next to your Mercy when the Genji comes up, punch him in the face. Anybody
Okay.
gets close, you just knock him in the air, knock him back. You save your shift for most of your mobility and more for movement, less for damage. But his E, the shockwave, when you hit people within the blue, there's like a blue thing that comes up on
Yeah.
the ground.
Right.
When you hit people within that, it pulls them close to you, and the more people you hit, the more shield you get. So it's really good if people are grouped up together for pulling for combos
Sure.
or things of that nature. So he works really good. You want him to be right next to the payload, right next to your Reinhardt, right in the thick of your team, not out diving like a Tracer or a Genji or something
I've
like
seen
that.
very few people playing him like that so far, though.
Yeah, well, those are the only people that I've seen him playing well. Other than that, they punch all the way in, they're like,
Right.
woo, and he's got that massive hitbox, and you just die immediately.
How's the community reacted to Doomfist?
I don't know.
Is
to be
it
honest.
disappointment?
I don't think it's been long enough. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there were some. It was really interesting. We were playing a game the other day, and we had a Doomfist on our team and a Doomfist on their team, and they were kind of communicating to each other about how like the play was, and very complimentary actually. It was
Really?
a very friendly kind of interaction of, oh, you're doing a great job with Doomfist,
Right.
and like that was really cool.
I've noticed whenever there's whenever there's a new launch and we get more people coming back to the game, and it's not the people that just play the game all the time 24/7, it seems to be a much nicer environment, especially in like quick play and stuff.
Yeah, I
and
can
then
see
as
that.
that starts to die down and it's more of just the all day, everyday people, and you get into quick play and
tryhards.
you're like, oh, I'm just gonna
Back to
have
the
fun.
nasty,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, you're terrible. It's like, it's just a quick play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick play is everything.
That's why I tried to be. I did. There's an event match right now that's 6v6, which I think is some of the footage that we're playing right now. It's a special
Oh, I
event.
didn't even
Oh,
see
yeah.
that.
It's 6v6,
Oh,
dude. All
yeah.
Doomfist.
Oh, I'm about
It's
that.
silly.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is I went for an uppercut just too late, and another dude hit me with an uppercut and sent me flying.
Oh, that's great.
And I was laughing my ass off.
That's
I
great.
loved it.
Hilarious.
So I think some of the potential replay stuff it can be fun. I think it surprised me that his basic fire is like a quick spread shot sort of a gun thing.
Well, you're supposed to combo it in between your abilities.
Yeah.
You can use it to cancel.
Yeah,
some
I
of the
don't like
animations
flush it
to
and then
max.
like, oh, I gotta wait to reload. Like
Yeah.
none of that stuff. No, but it was still just turning it on. It was surprising where I was like, why don't I have just one? And I was a little surprised that it wasn't all melee. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I forgot even to use my melee for like the first hour that I was
Yeah.
playing. I was like, oh, I can still melee with my left hand.
What do we think about his ult? Because I think it's
I
good.
think it's too strong. I think the damage needs to get
It's-
nerfed. I think it needs to come
yeah.
down a little bit quicker, but the overall damage, at least like
There's
the
a
outer
timing
ring
thing.
damage should be lowered. The center ring damage is fine because if you're standing in the middle of that thing, it's a big indicator.
You
Yeah.
an
It's one of those
idiot.
things
Yeah.
of like
Right in
he's
the
still
middle.
new, so the
Right.
reflexes aren't there. It's
Yep.
like when we first started playing the
Yeah.
game, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, Diva ult. So when people figure it out, I also think his charge punch is gonna get nerfed because it's just too easy to one-shot people.
Yeah.
If they're
Whoa.
not paying attention. Like the first time I hit a McCree, like just as he was not paying
Yeah.
attention, come around a corner. Like I hit him so hard it killed him instantly, but even if it didn't, like he just flew off the map. Like he would have just got knocked off the ledge. I just died of laughter. It was
Is he
a
fun?
Yeah.
moment.
Depends.
I know.
When
That's a
you're-
tough question.
When
in
you're
this game.
doing good,
Yeah.
and no one's like, oh, just shoot Doomfist because his model's really big and it's easy
Right,
to
right.
kill. Yes, he's really fun. But when you're getting destroyed and like you go and use your abilities and you're like standing around like, okay, now what do I do?
Yeah.
And everything's on cooldown. That part's
Because
not
he is
fun.
really easy to kill.
I
Goes down
think
fast.
similarly to a fighting game character, when you like nail a combo that you've been working on, or
Okay,
nail
yes,
a special
yeah.
move at the
Yeah.
right time, which creates an opening, that I think is the points of joy, at least right now for a Doomfist, where you just somebody's not paying attention, and you knock them off the screen. Somebody's like up top, and you uppercut up
Yeah.
to them, which knocks
Yeah.
them out. Something like that, like stuff like that. That's what I've enjoyed.
Okay.
Even like I mentioned, getting knocked up into the air, I was subject to that, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing
Yeah.
ever." But
Did they
yeah,
make a new map just for this?
no, this
No,
is the El Dorado, the smaller El Dorado map.
It's usually more on the custom or the 3v3.
I don't think
Or-
I have seen this.
Well, play in the event, and you'll be able to play it.
Yeah, they've got it for special events or custom games.
Wow, I'm
It's
disappointed.
a
in
very
myself.
small little
Wasn't it-
map. It's a lot of fun.
Didn't a lot of the smaller maps come with the Arctic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They
remember
introduced
that.
a couple.
Okay, maybe I just didn't play on all of them when that patch came out. So
See,
I think
I-
I played on 2 of the new.
Do you think it would be? Oh, it would be. Well, it would. So let me answer my own question. Just how awesome it would be that if you nail an uppercut, that reduces your cooldown a little bit more, so you could keep comboing.
No.
That's a little bit too much.
Yeah. I think maybe if they tune more of his damage down, I'd be cool for that. I'd be cool if his punch like cooldown was shorter and just did just a little bit less damage, so you could use it more from ability, and you could reliably use just the quick short punches and not having to charge it.
Yeah.
Because now it kind of feels bad to just do, even if they're like right in front of you. I'm still trying to get used to the timing of when
Yeah,
do
yeah,
I
yeah.
let go?
Sure.
You know, because
Right.
sometimes you hold on for too long and they just shoot you.
And then
Oh,
they
and it's
travel.
like-
You're like,
Oh,
real scary, real
Yeah.
scary. Yeah.
Too late.
And also, is it throwing anybody off that the charge punch isn't directional? No matter where you are, it's just straight.
I tried to
like you
fly
can't
a
go
few
down,
times.
you can't go up. Like
Oh,
I was
is it?
trying
Okay.
to
Yeah.
You can
tilt up
kind
and
Right,
then
right. Yeah,
uppercut,
yeah.
but
Not having it.
No.
ultimately no.
Can I
It's not good for
request
mobility.
a Doomfist audio patch that allows me to play your reload voice? Like, oh, I gotta reload.
You gotta
I
reload.
gotta. Then I would play.
my name's Doomfist. I gotta reload my gun. My gun fist.
Are you gonna voice all the lines? for
Again,
us and we're gonna
again, I would
listen?
play that.
Yeah,
Sold.
I'm there.
He sounds
Here's
great,
your taco,
too.
Mr.
I'm a-
Krusty.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. It's me, Doomfist.
If I had a girlfriend, she'd kill me.
It's good to be back.
It feels awesome when you slam him into the wall too, and you get the stun.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah,
It's similar,
converse-
like it's like to
conversely,
Reinhardt.
You feel really dumb when he comes around the corner and you're standing up against the wall, and you're like, just slammed against the wall, and then makes you
is
cry.
true.
All right, so another one of the big
True.
stories. Let's end on that. I wanted to bring up a couple of smaller things that happened this week.
I hate small
Stacey, you might have a little bit to say about this.
All right.
Persona 5, the animation,
Yeah, it is.
coming out in 2018.
Yeah, it is.
Now, on the previous incarnation of the show, we watched the first Persona
boy.
3 movie, which was really good and made me interested in that world. With that, and with your experience of Persona 5, how do you feel this is going to be?
I'm gonna watch the shit out of this. Guys, I mean, it's gonna be fun. I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see them adapt it and maybe give the main character a little more of an active
A
role.
name?
You're gonna
and a
100%
name.
this show.
I'm gonna 100% this show. You better believe it. I'll have the platinum. No.
There's going to be watching achievements that connect back into the game. You have to watch it on your PS4, and that unlocks the final achievement, the platinum.
Perfect. No.
Can you imagine if shows had collectibles where they do
I
like
didn't
eye
know
tracking?
he was voicing him. Sorry, I just learned
No.
that. I'm really excited
Yeah,
now.
I just found this trailer like earlier today.
I did not pay attention
wait-
the first time I watched that trailer and missed
Is
that.
Is it
I
beat
like
for
the
beat
music.
the
Super
story of the
now.
game, or is this like a tangential unit? Like, where does this take place? What's the setup for this anime?
Knowing what they do or what they've done for the other Persona ones,
Yeah.
it's essentially going to be the story. with a little bit more here and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, because you can't just. Oh, it's not just gonna be like a let's play hero, for God's sake.
See, and that's the thing. They in order for the anime to be as interesting, they have to give him more of a personality because you are very much a blank slate in the game.
Right.
Like as a character, everyone is doing stuff to you, and you are just kind of passively reacting to a lot of.
They made it
stuff
interesting
going
in
around.
the first movie.
They did. So so hopefully there.
They know what they
Here's
do.
my persona.
A little more like actual personality.
I gotta wear this really cool mask and I go out after the midnight hour.
I gotta get to high school.
No. In this one, you have to be in bed by 10.
Oh, you have to be. Oh.
Well, okay, maybe not 10.
I'm
but
gonna
it feels
sneak
one
out of
way.
my room so I don't have to be
You
in
must
bed by
be
10.
tired.
I'm so tired, Mom. Don't come in my room. And another quick thing, for those of you that have EA access, Titanfall 2 just became a part of that series. So you can go and download Titanfall 2 if you haven't played it yet. It's so good. The video that I pulled is of like the most recent DLC.
And they just added like, is that where you pulled the horde mode?
Yeah, the war something.
I believe so. They've now got that new horde mode, which is PvE co-op, like again, horde-ish. And it was something that was that eventually got released for Titanfall 1. Didn't ship at launch with this one, and is now there, and people love it. It's an excuse to go back to that because I played a lot of that PvP when this launched, and then just kind of had a hard stop. Feel like I got my fill, but so it's an excuse for that.
I think that's been one of the major issues just with the Titanfall franchise is people go in, they get a little bit, and then like, okay, I'm done. And that's that.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I've yet to play a Titanfall game, but I'll probably play through this one a little bit just because it's free now. 'Cause
You
I
should
have
play
EA
the
access.
campaign.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna play multiplayer. Anybody who is still playing the Titanfall 2 multiplayer, I do not want. To
No,
play
you do not.
That's
No,
fair.
you
That
do
is-
not.
Yeah.
This is not. It's also just not my type of multiplayer. It's why I never really got excited about this game. It
it's
looks
super-
great. This
it's
is a game I'd
incredible.
love to play the campaign. You know, I love those kinds of crazy shooter elements in that regard.
Yep.
But when it comes to me playing against other people, I'd like to know, regular gravity is in play
Totally.
for like cornering and stuff.
It's so fun, man. It's so frenetic. I think you'll love the campaign, man. I'm actually really interested to hear what you think if you get your hands on it.
Even
mean, I
just
like
the mobility
big
is
robots,
so much
so.
fun.
It's so much fun. The game feels so good.
Like when we went to EA Access, I hadn't played Titanfall in a couple of months, but we just picked up a round of whatever their newest King of the Hill
Yeah.
mode or whatever was, and it was just so much fun. I was like, man, I was like, man, this is fun. I like this game. I feel bad for selling it back.
Tragically did not sell very well. I don't know that we're gonna get another one for a little bit. They're working Stig. What's his name? Stig Rasmussen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's heading up their other team doing that Star Wars property at Respawn. So I think it'll be a minute before we get another Titanfall.
Let's focus on Star Wars for a bit.
Yeah, right.
They've got robots in there. You can pick big robots.
They do have big robots.
You can make big robots. We have a couple of updates from the Titanfall. All right, now the biggest thing. It shook. It rocked the gaming world. I'm not going to throw my notes because they're notes for a reason. There's a bit of a controversy with the good old friends. Stop me if you heard this one before. At PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds with stream sniping. A new phenomena where people are watching folks in their game stream to find out where they are and get that chicken dinner.
It's so dumb. It's just like this is the
I mean,
most
it's not
like
really-
2017
it's
problem I've ever
It's
heard in
not
my
new.
entire life.
Stream
No.
sniping has
No,
been
I
around
know.
as long as it's.
For sure.
All my experience of stream sniping came from League, and
Yeah.
in those places it really doesn't matter as much. Almost all those guys stream on a delay, anyways, at least just a few minutes delay. But even then, like maybe if you're the jungler, you can kind of see the jungle
See the
route
jungling.
and kind of see what
I'm
direction
the
they're heading
ganker.
in,
I'm
but
always ganking.
That game is just like constantly
I don't
changing.
know what any of that means.
Now maybe
that
with
what that means?
PUBG because you're on a location, you can see the person you're watching's their map and like the letters on the map, so you can see where they are if you do happen to be in that game. There's also a server listing at the bottom, so you can see if you're in the same server.
Yeah, sure.
And I mean, I guess it gives you an advantage because you know where they are. But then you still have to go kill them.
Yeah.
You still have
Yeah.
to sneak up on them. Most of these streamers, know what they're doing. So if you don't know, what happened was there's these guys were streaming. Summit1G was one of them, one of the bigger streamers.
Yeah,
who did
Summit1G and
CS:GO
Shroud.
And Shroud, right. And
Classic
basically,
Shroud.
they were having issues with this guy who they felt like was stream sniping constantly. they got into another game where the similar thing happened, and there was a mix-up where it's duos, so there's groups of 2.
Right.
So it's them 2, and then there's another 2 with the stream sniper,
Okay.
and then there was a random 2 that just happened to be there. So one of the guys that was not part of the stream sniping duo
Sure.
is the one who ended up taking the ban. And so the community, he posted on Reddit, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is BS," blah,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And this is also after the last thing happened with Dr. Disrespect and his ban, and like, the Battlegrounds PR situation is not very good.
I'm
right
sure.
now. Yeah, they, as fun as the game is, they need to put more time into that and controlling who is saying what publicly, because they're pissing off their fan base. I mean, again, Reddit is a small vocal community,
Totally.
but people will feel the same way.
Yeah, so I have the statement here from Brendan Green, who made this statement. I have seen the data the community team looked at before issuing the ban, and the ban was indeed justified. The tracking data shows that the player in question tried to join the same lobby as their target multiple times. While we understand we cannot prove that this player was watching the target's broadcast, we see no other reason why they would have consistently attempted to be in the same lobby as someone who is broadcasting live, other than to have an advantage in the
So
game.
that actually made way more sense to me, because when you guys set that up, I'm like, who cares? Like, not a problem, but like, because if you're singling 1 or 2 people out and you're server to server with them, it's just griefing, right? Like, and that's the issue. And I understand that being a ban. If you were like, I think you're streaming your fair game. Like, I'm sorry, like, you're putting that out there to the public. It's like,
and that's why
who cares?
Having the delay of your broadcast
Yes,
is supposed to
something that you
eliminate
can do.
that.
But
Yeah.
Right.
So who cares? But like, can you imagine how old that would be if you spent 4 hours playing this game and there was just one jackass who followed you around and just aced you every single game?
But if all you have to do is put a 10-minute delay,
I
a
agree.
5-minute delay on your
Right.
stream, that's on. There's no other game where the developers of the game police stream sniping or anything of this nature. Otherwise, it's Twitch. It's up to the streamer themselves. Like, there's no.
Sure.
That never happened. No one gets banned in League for stream sniping. No one gets
No.
banned in CS:GO for stream sniping.
I get it, but like part of this
Yeah.
is like you want to develop a community and like promote good behaviors, and the intention behind this is gross, right? This guy's clearly just trolling. Do you know what I mean? I know it's a fine line. I'm not.
Well, for one, it's really hard to prove. It's all speculation. It's
Sure.
all just accusations, and especially with the way their lobbies are set up, the streamers join a lobby, they just join the game starts.
Right.
So if you're trying to stream snipe, you basically have to, every time they're joining, you got to spam try to join. Did I get in theirs? Nope. I have to wait for their game to end. Then when they're starting another one, then I can try to join them again, 'cause
totally.
you can't like switch lobbies. So it just
Takes a particular breed of asshat.
He's working.
Yeah.
They're working for it.
I think it's a scapegoat thing. A lot of streamers have just
Sure.
start to claim, because
Well,
it's
especially-
easier to go, "Oh, that guy stream sniped me," than, "Oh, I got outplayed. Sorry,
Yeah.
viewers."
Kind of funny.
It does seem like it can
no,
become a really
it's
easy
just so
excuse.
unlikely that someone's gonna be like, "Oh, let me check all of the streamers so I can see what game they're in right now and see if I'm
Especially
in that game
how
How
many
much
too."
people
work that would take?
No, I know.
And
Like,
also,
the effort.
I think
this
that's so
game is
funny.
optimized so poorly. It eats up all my RAM. I can barely open a Chrome tab on the side on my second screen, like, let alone a Twitch stream, and like see enough to be able to read the letters on the map.
Every once in a while, I just hear about something like this in this space that, like, I go, how do people have this amount of time? Like, I don't, like, the commitment to that level, that troll is incredible. And for me, like, I'm kind of, I flipped. I'm proud of him. keep
you are
it
that
up.
dedicated
Yeah, if you're
to
committed to
anything,
fucking with that person that much,
I mean,
absolutely.
The way I see it, if you are taking it upon yourself to broadcast your gameplay,
Yeah.
that's what it is. You're saying, "Hey, everybody, look at my screen."
Sorry,
Because
dog.
the flip side of this argument is also, none of these streamers complain when they're playing and they walk past an attachment or something, or they're looking in a different
their
place on the
audience-
screen,
yes,
and then they
a
go,
million percent.
"Hey," and every one of their champs
Yep.
fans, "There's a guy over there.
Yep.
You missed the scope
Totally.
or whatever." They
Right.
go back and pick it up.
Yeah.
So you can't get the advantages and not have the disadvantages. You
Yeah.
gotta take both. If you want the delay so you don't get stream sniped, because that's the only reason why they wouldn't put a delay on. They say it's for chat interaction,
Right.
But
It's for chat help.
Yeah, right, right.
because otherwise
Right,
you can still
yes.
interact with the chat on a delay.
Yeah.
That's a really good point,
Let's
though.
reconnect
They are
after
getting
the-
an extra advantage, with having all those extra
Mm-hmm.
eyes on the screen.
Question, Nate. Can you teach me to screen snipe?
No.
Damn it.
It's something you
It's a,
must
forbidden,
earn.
it's a forbidden technique.
So work for it.
If I taught you
It's the
that,
dark
I'd have to
arts.
kill you.
Worth
But
it.
we need to play this game.
No, I agree. I need to get a paycheck. So the
Agreed.
So I don't remember who it was. It was either Summit or Shroud, but their response after this whole thing came out was so. It wasn't gross. It was just shitty. It was just like, of course I'm gonna fucking say that a guy's a fucking stream sniper. I can't have emotions when I'm playing a game? I was like, what the. No, shut up.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
remember these guys are getting a lot of heat from all their followers and on their Twitter and whatever of like, oh no, you got this person banned, whatever, blah 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 blah. When yes, they overreacted and were like, oh, this person street sniping me and said it on their thing, but they didn't. It's not like they like were like, hey developers, ban this guy, thanks, like on their personal.
Literally
Yeah,
the
no.
dumbest thing
It was
I've
up to the
ever heard about.
Yeah, but that's the biggest thing is like there's the developers should not be involved in the situation. The streamers should handle their own. There should be no drama at all.
It's tough. I totally understand community management and wanting to promote good behaviors in the game. Like, but also this is real dumb.
I think the
honestly.
one
It's
thing.
not like
Also,
a
this is
hack
so
or
dumb.
an exploit.
No.
No,
I think the one.
true.
The
If
one
your
thing,
enemy chooses to broadcast his
yes,
position
I agree.
to everyone,
I'm on both
that's
sides of this.
on him.
The one thing that
Yeah.
we should take from this situation is that you need to send us game codes.
And-
So,
That's what I took away. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Please,
Clearly,
please,
that
Bluehole.
is the message.
man,
Please, we won't stream snipe or team kill.
3 of us won't screen snipe.
we're not going to tell you who the one is going to be though.
Take a wild guess,
Doesn't-
guys.
We're not going to
It's a
tell
little
you.
shell game. Like, where is it? One of us.
But one of the
clear
shells
cups.
has P on it.
Yeah. mhm.
I don't know which one.
Who could it be?
What is it going to be? So
I gotta find the shell with the P on it.
which shell is the P on it? It's on the outside, not the inside. I don't know what.
Dead
Why are you
horse right there.
beat it? Just like Michael Jackson, we're gonna beat it. So I mean, that was sort of the biggest headlines of the week, and some of the smaller ones too. Is there anything else that's going on in the gaming world right now that we want to cover before we go?
The Telltale games got announced too.
The
new
Batman.
Walking Dead
Final season of The Walking
yeah,
Dead.
The Batman and
that
another
face
Wolf
down.
Among Us.
Wolf Among Us season 2.
Hell yeah. That one was so
Oh,
good.
it's
Waited
so
long
good.
enough for that
It's
one.
So good.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should all stream different. What's everybody's favorite Telltale?
Borderlands, and it's not even close. Borderlands is so good.
Not even close to being as
Oh.
As good as
compared
the
to
rest
everything
of the
else?
Telltale
Yeah.
games. It is so like head and shoulders above from like a writing perspective, better than the rest of those games.
I don't know.
I think it's free on Xbox Live right now.
Game of Thrones ends today on PSN.
Oh,
Play
I'm gonna
Borderlands.
go download
It's-
that.
You should download
so
that
good.
before
Do
too
that.
long.
Yep.
It's so good.
What have you played any of the Telltales?
I have played a very little bit of The Wolf Among Us. I really want to finish it.
You should.
Yeah, I keep seeing amazing things with it, like, and the community like comes up with amazing art and like cosplay and everything from this, and yeah, that's a world I want to be part of.
Yeah, totally. You've
Really.
been
Fable
right up.
universe
Yeah,
is-
it's so
Yeah.
good.
So awesome.
Nate?
I mean, the first season of Walking Dead was probably my favorite. I like the second one. The most recent one took me a little bit longer. I still haven't finished Game of Thrones.
Did anybody play
Haven't
Back to
done
the Future?
Batman ones. No.
No, I
Yeah,
got on
okay.
board with first season of Walking Dead, which won all the awards. Incredible, by the way. Like, I don't know of a game in recent memory where I got as choked up at the end of, like, again, phenomenal achievement, but I just thought Borderlands was...
I mean,
Good.
I would recommend Back to the Future for anybody on PC. I
Okay.
would not recommend it for anybody on console because the controls are just way too janky
Yep.
for essentially a point-and-click adventure. But because you get Christopher Lloyd, because AJ Locasio
Wow.
plays an amazing Marty McFly,
Yeah.
and there is a cameo from in episode 5 from an actor from the original movie that it's Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox comes back and he voices a descendant of
Cool,
Marty,
cool.
which is pretty cool, and it's in effect Back to the Future 4. So if you want more from Back to the Future,
That's pretty great.
play the Telltale game
Okay.
because it's
Cool.
the same creative team. It's
I
like
didn't even know they made one.
yeah, it was one of the first ones.
First licensed, right?
Yeah, it was the first licensed one. Then after that was Jurassic Park. Then after that was Walking Dead. and then Walking Dead went, what? I also really like Minecraft Story Mode.
Really?
Yeah, for like I know one of the writers on it, and it was really cool to see him get his work taken care of. But as a big Minecraft fan, using the Minecraft formula in a narrative way is really fun.
Written by the same guy who was the lead on Borderlands. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of Telltale that y'all should pick up. We all love it here. Is there a franchise that Telltale hasn't done that you think they would just knock out of the park?
Star Wars.
Has anybody played the Guardians of the Galaxy?
No. Have you seen the trailer?
Yeah, it looks weird.
Exactly right.
so
Like
weird.
it's they're channeling that gun version of that universe so hard that like I don't do that. I don't know. It was something very off-putting in the trailer for me, so I didn't want to even go down that road.
I haven't seen it.
Well, it's because they're trying to mix the movie universe with the comic and cartoon universe.
I
So
don't
visually,
like
it
that.
looks really weird.
It doesn't
Yeah.
look like a.
They're
It
like-
looks like a video game movie game that we would not like.
But it's has nothing. It's its own story.
Yeah, no, and I don't think it got
just
great
doesn't look
reviews.
like a Telltale game.
No, it kind of
at
just
all.
dropped off.
Did you guys
little bit.
play the Batmans?
I didn't play the Batman. I know season 2 is coming.
Yeah.
But
I'm just really interested in that. Like again, because so much of that time you played as Bruce Wayne, and to me that's pretty interesting. So it's one of those things that's kind of always been like, man, I should
don't have
get
a
to
good
that
Bruce
eventually.
Wayne simulator.
No. Oh.
Yeah.
No.
We should each pick a Telltale game and I'll play through once we get our Twitch situation set up.
Excellent.
Like yeah.
And I think they've got Twitch integration now with those games that allows the community to like vote like what your choice should be, which is pretty cool.
Oh,
That's awful.
Fun.
Slash awesome. Yeah, totally.
Well, because then that invites trolls.
Yeah,
to
no.
be like, who may have played through and go, let me ruin their game.
Coming from a platform.
Let's kill Clementine.
Totally. But I
Why
will
not?
say the crowd ends up making the right decision. I come from crowdsourced football. Like I've
Fair-
seen
you know what?
this
That's
shit.
fair.
Like they end up and like the guy that the Amazon employee that put 20 grand of his own stocks or 50 grand, right? Like of his own cash. Did you see the Twitch plays the stock market? It's the Amazon employee, the only stock you couldn't buy was Amazon stock. Every other stock was fair game. And he had a floor and a ceiling, so if he made a certain amount of money, he was going to pull the whole thing. If he lost a certain amount of money, he was going to pull it. But 50 grand for the community to vote on which stocks he was buying, and he netted out ahead like a couple $100. But the people weren't like trying to tank; they took it very seriously. I don't
There was
know.
also Twitch played PUBG, and I think they made it to third place.
Yeah, which
What?
to me is nuts.
No
I didn't think they
way.
would make it out of the plane.
Seriously.
Yeah, no shit. That's crazy.
Isn't
That's
that
pretty
bizarre?
amazing.
That's.
I mean, if you
That's
set up the
incredible.
control
I need to
to
see
be
it.
as restricted enough.
I need to see it.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
All right. So
What's wrong with that guy? Oh, Twitch is playing that dude.
I'm
I'm not
not
even gonna shoot him.
Maybe it was all just.
I
let's
mean-
leave him alone. He looks
he's
like he's
having a
having a
hard
bad
day.
day.
It's
How
hard.
do I reload?
It's hard to
it's
win
like-
without shooting
Later, like,
anyone.
everyone else killed everyone.
But you could
That's so
definitely
weird.
make
You
it
could
to
survive.
2-3 with just moving
Here's-
and hiding. So that,
Here's
I
your
could
chicken
see
dinner,
that,
man.
I
It's
guess.
fine. Like,
just
you
wish-
need this more than me.
Combat.
I want to be the person who is in the 1v1 against the Twitch bot, as it's just standing there, and I'm like, wait.
I'm so happy I have a grenade.
Laurel to shoot at this thing? Like, what
It's
do
a
I do?
monster.
Oh god.
Just go shake its hand. No.
It ran out of bullets way long before. All right, so I think that'll do it for this episode of Inventory Full. Man, this was fun.
Yeah,
This is,
I'm
I'm so
having a
happy
good
that we
time.
do this every week instead
Damn
of
right,
every 2
totally.
weeks.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So until
keep
next
the
week.
energy.
Since we-
What are you guys playing this week? Before we go,
Yeah,
what
before
are
we
you, before we go.
Don't ask me.
What are you playing? More. I know, but we know what Nate's playing.
Yeah,
Mark,
I'm
are you playing
playing
anything
PUBG.
before we go?
And I'll play Overwatch.
You play some
I'll be
Overwatch?
playing some
All right,
Overwatch.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
You
playing
hitting-
Overwatch, and Saturday I'll try to make a. I don't know if I should just finish one of the short single player games that I have, or keep playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Because
Do it.
Yes,
No,
do
no,
it.
I- so I've got
It's not the
Recore.
table.
it.
I've got Recore, and that can't be longer than 10
Horizon
hours.
Zero Dawn. Who
I
cares?
just,
Do
I've
it.
got
10
such a
hours
long
is not gonna go anywhere.
I just got another game
Horizon
back.
Zero
I still have your Final Fantasy 15, and I'm
Dawn.
trying to get the list flipping
Player
done.
unknown's
Horizon.
Battleground.
I want to
I'm with you.
I'm
I'm about to gift it to you.
What? Well, that'll end the show for
right.
today. No.
Mark's
So yeah.
done.
So Overwatch, we should definitely get in a party and play.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
dope.
Get some highlights.
Stacey?
So we can play our own
Oh,
footage
definitely
for God's sake.
Yeah.
But What do you got?
I'm gonna finish Firewatch this week.
Yeah,
hopefully.
you are.
And I think I got about 30 minutes of new Final Fantasy 15
do?
material to play through. They added one quest
I just
today.
don't. Just
So,
they add
you
in
know.
100%.
Woo!
Yeah.
Exotic rare fish.
So, you know, I put them in their stupid not Power Rangers outfits.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Which are-
Yeah.
Put them in
their
They
Chocobo
should be
Festival
titled.
shirts.
They took the colors away. I was so sad.
So dumb.
So yeah, I'll be doing those things and a lot of Overwatch.
Firewatch. Okay, we need to have a little
play it.
spoiler chat about Firewatch when you beat that. I'm
All right,
excited.
all right,
I'm
I'm
also
ready.
playing a walking simulator this week. I'm playing Tacoma. Comes out tonight, which is from the Fulbright company, the guys that did Gone Home. So I'm very, very excited. So I'm going to finish off Pyre and then get right to Tacoma. Hopefully it's something I can knock out this week.
Let us know what you're playing by following us on Twitter at InventoryFullPT and finding us on Facebook. We're going to be posting clips from the show, maybe some updates about what we're going to be playing, when we're going to be playing, so we can play with you. But until next week, where can folks find you on the social medias?
Yo, I'm at P to the D's on Twitter and Xbox Live and PlayStation. I'm at Truly Slide, and if you're one of the randoms, maybe I got a couple friends from. I don't know if it came from this stream or anywhere else, but thanks. I'm glad you hit me up, and let's play together.
Daisy.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Stacey Shuttles or on PlayStation at Seriously Siri, which is not a reference to Siri.
The other one, Nate.
Guys, you can find me on social media at DogLikeNate. If you want to play with me, just tweet at me and I'll send you whatever, one of my screen names and we'll play something.
That's much smarter. Follow me on Twitter at Mark Donica. Tweet what he said, but with me, both of us. Well, no, because I mean, I've got I'm like Soapbox
don't
Mark in
tweet
some
me
places.
for Mark, 'cause
So no,
I-
he doesn't know. I'm Soapbox Mark some places. I'm Soapbox Mark D other places. I'm Mark Donica some places. I'm the _idget some places. It's real dumb. But also you can find the show on various things. Find our Discord channel. So that we can talk a little bit more regularly throughout the week. Follow everybody here at the Popcorn Talk. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Inventory Full. We'll see ya at the arcade. Why not? Let's do that this week. Let's go to the arcade. You guys want to go?
Barcade?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Let's go.
Barcade.
Yes.
Ooh, even
Ooh,
better.
yes.
There's
Just
so
expecting
far.
for us to
Let's
be
go.
faded out anytime now.
Nah.
Yeah.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Spitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.